There are at least two different methods depending on how you learn best. Some people can read the work and learn from the theory before applying it. Other people learn best by working the problems and then learning the theory. You should know by college which way is best for you. If you're aiming to study and learn like Sherlock Holmes, you're striving to develop razor-sharp observation, deductive reasoning, and an unrelenting thirst for truth. Holmes is known for his meticulous logic, attention to detail, and calm focus under pressure. It's a powerful way to train your mind. Here is how I believe you can start becoming more like him. Train your mind to see what others miss. Sherlock doesn't just look, he observes. He notices small details others overlook and connects them logically. To do this, start sharpening your focus. Don't just glance over your book, scrutinize every sentence. Ask, what is the author really trying to say? What's the hidden principle here? While reading my science textbook, I noticed how many chapters shared the same underlying law. That detail helped me connect topics faster and recall answers during exams, just because I trained myself to look deeper than the surface. Stay calm and analytical. Holmes rarely panics. He processes information logically, not emotionally. That's a vital skill in learning, especially under stress. Exams, deadlines, and failure will come, but panic won't help. You need to respond with reasoning, not reaction. When I blank out in an exam, I don't freak out anymore. I breathe, retrace my thoughts, and apply deduction. What do I know? What's being asked? What's the most likely answer? Thinking clearly under stress changes everything. Develop a habit of focused curiosity. Holmes isn't interested in everything, only what matters. To learn like him, be selective with your curiosity. Don't memorize useless facts. Find what's relevant and dive deep into it. Make every piece of knowledge part of a larger web. I used to read every page like it was equally important, but now I focus on the core ideas. I ask, what's the foundation here? What do I need to understand to grasp the rest? It saves time and deepens learning. Be methodical. Everything Sherlock does has a process. You should approach studying the same way. Create systems. When to revise, how to practice, how to test yourself. Don't just cram. Have a method and stick to it. I've set a fixed time for reviewing older notes every week. I rotate topics, test myself, and then reflect on what I missed. It's not glamorous, but it works like clockwork, and that's how Holmes works too. Practice mental independence. Holmes never relies on others' opinions. He forms his own conclusions. In your studies, don't depend blindly on tutors or popular answers. Do your own reasoning, challenge assumptions. Think critically. In class, when teachers explain something, I don't just nod along. I try to reconstruct it in my own words later. If I can't, I realize I never truly understood it. That's when I dig deeper. Use silence and solitude. Holmes often retreats into silence to think. Sometimes you need to step back to see clearly. Schedule quiet study time with zero distractions, no music, no notifications. Let your mind wander and work. I've started taking short breaks where I do nothing. Just walk or sit in silence after intense studying. Oddly enough, that's when I get my best insights. When your brain isn't being bombarded, it starts making connections on its own. Train memory like a detective. Sherlock uses his mind palace to store and retrieve information efficiently. You don't need to be a genius to do this. Use associations, mnemonics, and structured storage of facts. I use stories and mental images to remember complex topics. For example, I turned the periodic table into a strange story with each element as a character. It's weird, but it sticks. Stay emotionally detached from results. Holmes never celebrates too early or mourns too long. He just moves on to the next case. If you want to master learning, stop obsessing over marks. Use feedback to improve, not to define you. When I failed a test, I used to get discouraged, but now I treat it like a data point. What didn't work? What can I improve? Just like Holmes, I stay focused on solving the mystery, not crying over it. Be in love with the process. Holmes doesn't just solve crimes for results, he enjoys the chase. If you want to study like him, fall in love with the act of understanding itself. Get obsessed with how things work, how ideas connect, and how knowledge evolves. I've started reading beyond the syllabus not for exams, but because I enjoy seeing how theories were discovered, the mistakes made, and the experiments behind them. It makes learning thrilling. Becoming like Sherlock Holmes isn't about showing off your intelligence. Day by day, as you train your mind to think like a detective, you'll find yourself understanding things faster, learning deeper, and reacting smarter. Stay calm, analyze everything, and pursue the truth behind the facts because that's where real mastery begins.